You know that voice that kicks in whenever you speak about the economy, right? The one that says, who are you to talk about this? What makes you qualified to talk about it? Now, that voice isn't insecurity, it's actually conditioning. Because we have spent our whole lives being told that only a certain type of person gets to understand how the economy works. But the funniest thing is, our favourite TV shows have often been trying to tell us the truth about that for years. Take Slow Horses, for example. So why is Slow Horses so successful? I think a big part of the reason is that it tells us something that we already know but rarely admit, that the best person isn't the one who looks the part. In Regent's Park, the elite HQ, everyone's polished. Crisp suits, Oxbridge accents, LinkedIn smiles. They look like the future of British security. But they're not the ones that get it right. They're the ones managing appearances, playing hierarchy games, and most importantly, failing upwards. Whereas Slough House, that's the opposite. Scruffy, chaotic rejects. They're all oddballs who don't fit in. They don't fit the mold, and yet they're the ones who see what's really going on. They have the truth, even when nobody else sees it or recognizes it. And that's a deeper hope, isn't it? Because we know in real life, truth doesn't wear a Savile Row suit. Wisdom doesn't sound like a posh accent. Truth can come from anywhere. Take Jackson Lamb. He's disgusting, isn't he? Chain smoking, farting, trench coat stained with yesterday's chips. Looks like he should be called Barry, basically. But you wouldn't trust him with your dog, let alone national security. But he sees it all. He tells the truths that nobody wants to hear. He's grubby, he's disrespectful, but he is as wise as he is gross. Because he sees beyond the surface, he has real insight. And psychology explains why we find that so satisfying. Because in the real world, we are wired to do the opposite, to over-reward appearances and underrate substance. Now, these four biases play a huge part in that. Firstly, there's status bias. Studies show how we automatically assume that people with higher social class cues, expensive clothes, accents, good teeth, and the right tie are seen as more competent regardless of ability. Michael Krauss and Dacia Keltner in 2009 found that observers consistently rated higher status individuals as more skilled, more intelligent, even when performance was identical to people of lower socioeconomic status. Incredible. Secondly, there's the halo effect, first described by Edward Thorndike in 1920. If somebody looks put together or has success in one area or one field, we project other virtues onto them: intelligence, reliability, leadership, when we just presume they could do anything. A modern example is clearly Elon Musk. Just because he can run Tesla, we think he can run government departments or be a good dad. And the same goes for the Regent's Park staff in the Slow Horses. Because they look the part, we presume they are the part. There's authority bias. Stanley Milgram's obedience experiments in 1963 showed how easily we defer to people who look authoritative. Lab coats, titles, roles, even when they're clearly wrong or clearly doing harm to other human beings. Regent's Park is a lab coat, the gloss of authority that makes us trust the least trustworthy. And then there's accent bias, where in recent research by Sri Levari and Boaz Kesar, great names, in 2010, found that people rate information as less credible if it's delivered in a non-prestige accent, even when the content is identical, which is exactly why Jackson Lamb, or Gary Stevenson for that point, with his working class bluntness, gets ignored even though he's right, time and time again. So when Slow Horses shows the rejects seeing the truth while the polished elites miss it, it's not just drama, it's doing what science does. It's exposing our biases, and the whole show is built on that. And that's what makes it gripping, because it feels like justice, scruffy over shiny, substance over style. But here's the hard bit. In real life, truth doesn't magically triumph. Our biases get in the way of truth. In fact, our biases keep the whole fuck system in place, which is really one of the driving reasons why Slow Horses is such a hit. It's because it's built on a satisfying fantasy inversion of what happens in the real world. Because in the real world, most truth goes unheard and unnoticed. You have to repeat it, insist on it, drag it screaming into the room until people can't ignore it. Hell, you've got to get over your own biases to see it in the first place. And that's what makes the show so satisfying, right? It offers hope. The underestimated are vindicated. The ignored finally get seen and their truth is heard. Because we know deep down that our system is built on superficial hierarchies. We reward the confident, the good-looking, the well-connected. And we punish the ones that look out of place, that don't have the right accent, the right background, or a perfect smile. We ignore the truth until it is unavoidable. So, what does Slow Horses tell us about the science of inequality? 1, you are constantly being fooled by appearances. If somebody sounds confident or looks confident, be on your guard, not reassured. 2, don't dismiss ideas because they come from a place of low status or from a working class accent. If anything, listen harder. And 3, the truth usually comes from the least likely of places. And this fact is key. You have as much access to the truth as anyone that's higher up the social ladder. In fact, if the success of Slow Horses is to be believed, even more so. So trust yourself, look around you. If you're impacted by inequality, if your friends and families are impacted by inequality and struggling, and it's making their lives unbearable, then believe that truth and don't be gaslit by the people that look like they know, the people in suits, the people in the media space, the people in the political space that are downgrading it to less important. It impacts your life. If it does, and it's huge in your life, know that and know that truth. Don't let your own truth be silenced. Oh, they're going. There's the guy that knows. They're going to push the... I wonder if they're going to push the bus in.
I think they're driving the bus in.
Okay.
They push it back.
Fair enough, that makes sense. Oh, I like how...